I have got to get this kitchen finished.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free, and I am very eager to finish this kitchen. I've only got a few cabinets left and some trim work. I'm so excited to be able to finish it so we can actually move in and get our house back in order once again. So I've got this little shorty cabinet here that's going up there, and then the microwave hangs underneath of it. Now I also need some power for the microwave. There is a receptacle right here, so I'm going to have to cut in up top, put a new receptacle in there, run a wire down to that one so I can get power up there, which will be inside of this cabinet, so that I can have something to plug the microwave into. So here's the receptacle I'm tying into, and the first thing I need to do is figure out where it's going to go up here. So there's the top of the cabinet. So here's the back of the cabinet that it's going inside of, and I got to make sure that it's down here, not interfering with these. So the top of the receptacle will be 4 1/4 inches from the top. So I'll come down 4 1/4 inches from the top of the cabinet. And then it's right directly above right here where this receptacle is. There we go. Perfect. Now this box that I'm using is called an old work box as opposed to a new work box. The new work box has nails and the stud is exposed, and you can put it there and nail it into the stud. For this one, you just cut a hole in the size of the box in the sheetrock. And you see this little tab here, that goes on the outside. And then there's a screw here and this little flip up here. And when you start to screw it in, that flips up, and then as you tighten it, this moves in, squeezes against the back of the sheetrock, and it pinches the sheetrock between here and here. And there's one there and there's one on the bottom, and that's what holds it in place. So you can put it in here like this, and you don't have to attach it to a stud. It just attaches itself to the sheetrock. So of course you got to run the wire up and get it into the box before you put it in there, or you'll never get the wire up. Now for up top where that box goes in, I can just run the wire down through the hole, put in the old work box, and it's perfect, and I don't have to mess with the sheetrock. Unfortunately, the wire will run down here, and I have to get it inside this box to make the connection. And the only way to do that is to cut out a piece of the sheetrock here, and then I'm going to have to patch it in later. I would like to just use this, it'd be fast and easy. But I don't know what wires are back there, and if I start doing that, I could cut through a wire and that would not be good. So I gotta use a knife. Okay. I really wanted to get this out of there without messing it up, because that way I can just use this same piece and put it right back in when I patch it up. So it looks like this has got just one wire running up from the bottom. This is hot, so I need to go turn the power off before I get into this anymore. Okay, it's dead. Okay, it's got two wires in there, so I'm going to be able to tie it in with the third wire and just hook it right to the screw on the receptacle. I'll leave this receptacle in place. All right, that's in there. This one's a little bit too tight. Back it off just a hair. So now I'll make the connection in here and I'll be good to go. So I got these connections done inside of here. This is a small box. It now has 3 wires in it. It was really tight, really hard to get it done, but it's done now. Just screwing that back in there. Still have this to put back in, but I'm not going to do that right now. I just want to get the wiring done, so I'm going to save that until I'm ready to start spackling. So now that's done. Let me put the cover on it. So now I can do the upper one. Okay, that's done. I've also got this cover that goes on, but that won't go on until after I cut the hole in the cabinet, set the cabinet, and then the cover goes inside. So what's next? I hang this top cabinet and the microwave. Okay, let's get to it. I suppose you're going to help? No, of course not. I'm going to man the camera. I guess that'll work. So we just lost power, and I don't know why. It's a beautiful sunny day outside. not a cloud in the sky. Real calm, no wind, but it is cold. It's about 20 degrees. So I'm going to fire up our wood stove here, because we are preppers after all. That's the main purpose for this. We do not use this to heat on a regular basis. We only use it on really cold nights and when the power goes out. That was the main purpose for this. Power is out, so I'm firing up the stove. And I got battery drills and things like that, so I can still continue my work, at least for a while. Now this cabinet is going up here, and I need to cut a hole right there for the receptacle. And I need to measure it very carefully before I cut it out. Hopefully it will actually line up. 15 and 17 and a half. 15 and 17 and a half. And then I have a line up here that I marked that's going to be the top of the cabinet. So I come down from there. Looks like 4 inches and 8 inches. Inches, 8 inches. There we go. So now I'm ready to cut this out. Hopefully I measured it right. And then I realized, my power is out. I've got battery drills, but my jigsaw needs to be plugged in. So there's nothing I can do until the power comes out and back on again. Guess I'll go read a book. Okay, the power is back on now after being off for almost 2.5 hours. Still nice and toasty warm in here because of our wood stove. So anyway, now I can get back to work on this. Alright, all I can say is, I hope that's right. So I already put the level up here and marked the top of the cabinet. And I measured the height of the cabinet. It's exactly 12 inches. So I come down here 12 inches. Now you may remember when I did the last video, when I mounted this, I actually screwed that straight to that wall over there, but that corner back there wasn't straight. It's out like this, which meant that there's a gap here and I had to shim behind it. So what that means is that I also have to shim here. So I have 2 pieces of 1/4 inch Luan. And I'll go ahead and put it in there as a shim to get it, to hold it out away from the wall so that this will be flush. Otherwise this cabinet would be set back a 1/2 inch. Now, the moment of truth. Wow. I don't know how I missed that so badly. That's really bad. I missed it by a ½ inch. That's not good at all. I have no idea how I did that. Now I got to take it down and cut it out more. Now I have a hole over here. Sometimes you can get oversized covers that might cover it if I can find one of those. Well, I had to take this down again anyway because I have the same problem here that I had over there, only it's even worse in that there's only one stud right here. That's the only place I can screw this to the wall. The next stud is over there behind there, and for some reason this stud is only 12 inches. I don't know why, but that doesn't reach. The problem is I'm going to have a lot of weight because the microwave is going to be hanging here. So I'm going to have to, and I can't leave this here because the microwave goes up underneath. So I'm going to have to put a screw there, and then up at the top I'm going to have to use 2 of those anchor bolts that go into the sheetrock and spread out like a butterfly behind it. So I need to, while that's up there right now, I need to drill the hole so I know where the anchor bolts go. I'll put one on each side. Okay, I figured out why I'd mismeasured this. When I measured it right to the edge of the cabinet there. But when I look down here, there's this little lip right here that I shouldn't have measured from here. I should have measured from here, and that's about 3/8 of an inch deep. And then there's one on the other cabinet right here as well, and 3/8 and 3/8, that gives me my 3/4. So that's why I was off by 3/4 of an inch. Unfortunate, but it happens. So putting this anchor bolt in here, now the crazy thing is I drilled another hole over here for the other anchor bolt and discovered a stud right there. Who knew? So there's a stud here, there's a stud here, and there's another stud right there. I don't know why it's there, but it's very good news because now I got an anchor bolt here and I can screw into the stud here, and then of course down here and here. So that's really going to help support the weight of the microwave an awful lot, so that makes me very happy. Okay, let's try this again. Alright, it'll work. Like I said, I got to try to find an oversized cover for that. Okay, I feel pretty good about it now. There's 2 studs here. I got screws top and bottom. I'll also put them inside. And then over here I have that one anchor bolt. And then I've got it screwed together here and this way up top. So that should give plenty of support. And then I'll also take a board here, screw it to the wall and leave it there for the microwave to sit on. So I think that's going to work. Okay, so now I got to put the board here to support the microwave. So I got a screw there and there, and once again I'm going to put another anchor bolt over here into the sheetrock. Goes in like this, and then you straighten it out once you get behind there. Straighten it out, pull it back. There it is, good and solid. So now I got to drill a couple holes in the bottom of this cabinet, one up in the center for the plug to go through, and then I need these bolts are what it hangs from, so I need to drill 2 holes on both sides for that. Once again, I have to measure very carefully for the placement of these holes. This is nerve-wracking. Measured them 3 times before I drilled them. Let's see what happens. Well, now is the moment of truth for this microwave. Hopefully this is in the right position and those holes I drilled are in the right position. We'll see. I think that one's in. I think they both worked. It worked. I plugged it in and the lights are on. Makes me very happy. Still need to fix that. So the only thing left is this one cabinet right here. That'll be a much larger cabinet, and then there'll be the wooden valance across the top there. This is our coffee beverage station, and once we get that bigger cabinet up in there, we'll be able to keep a lot of the coffee supplies up above. Now I'm going to put this cabinet up here, and then this goes across here. And I'm going to have to measure that really carefully when I put this in here to make sure that this is going to be actually tight between the cabinets. I hope I can do this right. Two. That was really awkward holding it across like that, but I'm glad I did, because when I make sure that this one was tight against both sides and not like this. This cabinet was actually at least a ½ inch higher than that one. When I straightened it all up, this, instead of being up flush, this was down like that. So I'm going to have to move that board down a little bit, move this cabinet down a little bit. So I put that up there again and tried to measure and get an idea of how much I have to drop this. It's actually got to come down by 3/4 of an inch. I don't really understand why. But if I don't, then those joints won't be tight. We got to have tight joints. So this turned out to be a really difficult thing to do by myself. The problem was that I had to lift the cabinet up and then hold it up there with my knee against the wall while I would lift this valance up and make sure it fit. But I would be able to see the joint right in front of me, but I couldn't see this joint over here on the right to see whether it was tight or whether it was straight. And if I moved over to the right so I could see that, then I couldn't hold up the cabinet. So then I would have to screw the cabinet to the wall and then go over and see how that joint worked, because I could hold it in the center. I ended up screwing this cabinet to the wall and moving it 6 times. I was so frustrated. So then Elizabeth is still not feeling real well, but I enrolled her to try to help hold up the other end so I could tell whether the joint was tight or not.
Okay, the bottom is the tiniest bit away. It's very close to flush now. It's flush now.
It's tight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like almost not completely there. It's so close it won't matter. Now it's not. Here. Now it is. Well, it's. You know what? Can I hold that side and you can hold this?
No, I'm holding up the cabinet.
Oh, gracious. Okay. Well, it's like just teeniest little bit. I mean, I'm not sure it would ever even show that much.
Elizabeth and I tried several times and we still couldn't get it right. It was so frustrating, I didn't know what to do. So then I called in the big guns. My son Barry came down to help, and he has this drill that is a right angle drill, because my drill wouldn't fit in there in that little cabinet to screw the valance to it. But he's got this little right angle drill that fit right in there, so I could screw the valance on the right hand side right exactly where it needed to be, and then I could come over and place the cabinet right exactly flush with it so the joints were tight, and the whole thing worked very well. I was very grateful to Barry that he had that tool that I didn't have. I couldn't hold this up by myself. I needed some help from the expert.
I don't know who you're talking about.
She's in the other room.
Oh. I also needed a special drill to be able to get in here.
Yeah, my big drill didn't fit that way.
It's on there.
Okay. So I had trouble by myself getting these seams tight. Every time I would get one tight, the other one wasn't. This was the answer right here, that I didn't have one of these tools.
Gotta have the right tool for the job.
So now I could draw that in tight, and then I can go ahead and set the other side. So then with the valance screwed in firmly on the right hand side, I was finally able to figure out where that cabinet had to go. And I had to move it once again, of course, but the end result was that it was flush across the top and the joints on both sides of the valance were nice and tight. So I was glad that it finally worked out. Thank you, Barry, for the help. Not only for the tool, but for the mastermind. So with the valance attached properly on the right hand side, I was finally able to figure out where this cabinet goes and screw it to the wall in the correct place.
Starting to look like a kitchen.
Yep.
You come up and do mine next. Surely I just.
And then attach the valance and the cabinet together so that it made a tight joint.
Very slightly off on the top, but I think it's okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Barry.
Well. Cool.
Okay, so what do you think, dear? It's coming together?
Oh yeah, this above the sink is it's just beautiful. Yeah, it's starting to really feel real to me, and it's all coming together. I love the cabinets. Yeah, this is really cool. And I was I'm strong enough now. I fixed some lunch, and this is the most efficient work area right here. Everything's just right there, and yeah, I'm loving it. I am.
We did have a number of questions that people asked on the first video, so I want to take just a minute and answer a couple of those questions.
Alrighty.
So this is a sample of the floor, what it's going to be like. You see that it has quite a bit of gray in it, but it's not as dark as the countertop. Quite a few people actually said that I should have finished off the ceiling up there before I put the cabinets up because it'll be too hard to get up in there afterwards. And several people asked why I didn't take the cabinets all the way up to the ceiling. Well, this is the standard height for cabinets. This is the way it was designed with a 4-inch gap. And there's going to be a crown molding that's going to completely cover that. So that'll cover the gap up to the ceiling, and it'll cover up all of that nastiness on the ceiling, and you won't even be able to see it. Also, as far as lights, I'm putting a switch right there, and that switch will turn on one light up underneath it here under the sink. See, there's the sink. And it'll also turn on probably 2 ceiling lights over here that will point down to the work area right here. And then on the microwave, there's a light there for the stove, and that works very well. Now the pantry is going to go right here all the way up, and I can't really do the crown molding above the cabinets there until I do the pantry, so I can see how it all ties in together right there. You know, in construction there generally is not one specific way to do something. All there is principles, construction principles. And then it's problem solving using those principles. And that's what we saw in this video. I had problems with the microwave, and I had the problems with the thing over the sink here. And I just had to use my construction experience and principles to overcome and to solve problems. It seems like everything that I do in construction is somehow or other solving a problem.
Well, I'm just really glad you guys have been able, excuse me, to go along with us. As Bill's been working so hard on all of this, this is going to be a really, really nice kitchen. I'm very excited.
Yeah. You know, we're disappointed that we're not in Florida right now, which is where we plan to be. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But at least that has allowed me to have the time that I need to finish this up. So we don't come back with it only half done.
Well, I wanted to know that I was really on the mend before we go down to Florida. And it's going to be nice. I can just get some nice sea air and lay in the sun.
In the warm air.
In the warm air, yeah.
So anyway, thanks for watching. I know this has been another long video. I hope you've enjoyed it. So,
Live simple. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
Live simple.
Live free. You be blessed. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. And we do love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.